Computer. What's going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Speaker Scale, and I am here with my man Patrick Nugent. And we're going to talk a little bit about his experience working with us here at Speaker Scale. So, Pat, what's going on, man?
Hey Joe, thanks for having me. I'm getting kind of teary-eyed because it's our time's coming to an end, unfortunately.
I know, man. It is sad. It's crazy how quickly the 3 or 4 months go and you get to it. But also, it's when we get to record these and sit down, it's nice because it's like the bird is blossoming and you have what you need. And
Totally.
so we've done it. But yeah, it's bittersweet. So on that note, tell us a little bit about you, your speaking business, where things were at. You started with us in March. It is now August. So yeah, tell us a little bit about like where you were when you initially came to us.
Yeah, so I initially came to you all because this is year one for me in speaking, and the biggest hurdle, the biggest obstacle that I was facing is just how do I find the next opportunity and not only find the next opportunity, but turn that into multiple different opportunities. And I know through my own research and diligence, a lot of speakers don't even make revenue in their first year, but I had come in to speaker scale already with a few locked in speaking gigs and just wanted to take it up a notch. So early on, the biggest bang for my buck that I got was just the accountability of posting on LinkedIn, as basic as that sounds. A lot of my engagements came from just being visible on LinkedIn and having people know that this is what I'm doing, not as just like a part-time thing, but more like a full-time thing. And where you came in initially was really helping me refine my EPS. Like I didn't really have an EPS. I was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what would stick. But that was really important to start off because then that allowed my LinkedIn page when people went on it, like I would hop on a call and I automatically had the believability and credibility because I've been consistently posting. My page was on par with what I was charging these clients, and that was no longer a barrier for me.
I love it, man. Yeah, let's get into that a little bit more. So, again,
Yeah.
I remember in March you came to it where you were like, "Hey, I've had a couple, I had one or two maybe paid gigs at the time. You knew
Yeah.
that this is something you wanted to focus on, put the time and energy and capacity behind, but really build this into a sustainable business and the systems and processes you need at all the different aspects." Um, Talk to us a little bit. You've kind of talked to us a little bit about like what we've worked on. But tell us a little bit about how things have transpired. I know there's been even more opportunities that have came up. We were just talking about one that you did. You're starting to book gigs into 2027, 2028. I know the outreach
Yeah.
is starting to get going on LinkedIn as well and sales kickoffs and that kind of stuff. So talk to us a little bit of, a couple gigs when you first came in, no real structure to it, and then where things are at right now for you.
Yeah. So after working with you all, let me count because I have my Excel spreadsheet out right now. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11. So since working with you since March, I've booked 12 gigs, which is huge for me because going before it was, I think maybe like two or three. And then, so yeah, going from two to 12, crushing my revenue goal for the year already. And we still have, 3 to 4 months left. And then finding different ways and different audiences to speak to. Because I originally thought I just needed to be speaking at national associations, educational institutions. And then recently it's been just more small, intimate settings, whether it's with certain specific company, their on-sites, whether it's with leadership teams or whether it's with different verticals that I never thought, such as venture capital firms.
Love it, man. Yeah, it's interesting because we were talking about this right before we hit record was like the gig you just did, and it was at a venture capital firm. It was a much more intimate room than I think a lot of speakers think when they're newer out. It's like, man, I need the 1,000 person stage. I need the,
Yeah.
big auditorium and the big beautiful conference room at the hotel. But as you've seen and continue to find, as I continue to find, it's like, man, there's so many stages that aren't what your typical stage would be. And that's a more intimate 25, 50 person room that pays really well, sometimes bigger than those big stages, and can actually be for certain speakers that you've kind of expressed,
Yeah.
something that's more like enjoyable and fulfilling to go deeper with folks, less folks in a room, but you're going deeper, either a keynote or a workshop format.
Yeah.
So
And then, I mean,
amazing.
so, I mean, for context, that was my biggest payday
Yep.
for those founders. So like
Yep.
the smaller room was the biggest payday for me.
It's really interesting how that works. I found that to be similar, is that a room of 25 executive leaders at a company, actually pays more than the big, all hands meeting that they have. So not all the times, but
Totally.
it is interesting how that works.
Well, and then
What you've
they didn't negotiate either. It was just
Yeah,
like, okay, which is great.
heck yeah, I love it. What do you feel like has been, you mentioned some of the things in terms of the EPS, the LinkedIn, the assets, and posting, just being accountable. And obviously I know that's driven some inbound demand. I know you implement some of those fulfillment systems we talk about to get spin-off and stage side leads. Like we talked about, you're starting to get into that outbound process, for some of those targeted engagements. What do you feel like has been the biggest sort of shift that we've been able to make and you've been able to make over the past 4 months?
I mean, biggest shift is just consistently and knowing that I have somebody that I'm accountable to besides myself. I mean, as an entrepreneur and just people in general, people need accountability in different ways. Like, I don't need accountability going to the gym and working out. Like, I will always do that. But for whatever reason, I needed accountability, um, in more structure with this because this is something that I'm new to. I don't know what right looks like. And another thing that you all helped me with is I went in thinking that the only service that I could offer is like keynote speaking, but there have been a variety of my gigs recently where it was a keynote plus a workshop, a keynote plus a workshop plus a team building session, a fireside chat. So you really open up my eyes to like the different possibilities that I can pitch myself and like the value that I can bring to these different organizations.
I love it, man. What's next for you? What is kind of on the horizon for you? I mean, 12 gigs in 2 to 12 in 4 months is pretty impressive. What's sort of on the horizon for you? I know we've talked about this briefly, but really taking this speaking to the next level, and where's your
Yeah.
focus going as we end 26 and 27?
Yeah, so I'll be joining Wounded Warrior Project's speakers arm. So they have it's called a Warrior Speak. So they'll help me solve the issue of, consistently getting gigs. And then from there will lead to a lot of spin-off gigs. So being part of their rotation, because they don't really have that many people in their rotation. It's only about 5 to 10 veterans. That'll be big. And then continuing on my own path to target these different organizations because this is going to be my main thing for a while because I'm in the process of writing a book and that's just only going to expedite the process once that gets launched. And then I'm also going to be working part-time for the US government in more of an external facing role. So there'll be different opportunities for me to leverage my speaking in that role as well.
I love it, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Any kind of parting words? Where can people go check you out if they want to connect with you? They want to see your speaking work. Where's a good way to find you? And any parting word for aspiring speakers or people considering joining us here at Speaker Scale who are in a similar position that you were?
Yeah, for me, you can just find me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most heavily invested. I also have a Substack where I publish one article a week roughly. I am on Instagram as well, but I've gotten zero engage speaking from Instagram, but I just have a presence there just in case. And the thing that I would urge anybody listening, anybody that's on the fence is, I went from 2 to 12, and I'm not saying that everybody can do that, but you're at least going to get more than one working with Joe and the team. I mean, they'll hold you accountable, they'll set you up for success. But the thing is, you have to put in the work, and everybody needs an accountability partner in life. So, the greatest always have certain coaches in different domains and areas of expertise. So, speaking should be no different.
I love it, man. Well, we appreciate you. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. We're excited to see your journey continue to evolve. And man, year one I've seen some impressive year ones, but yours is definitely up there. And just keep doing the consistent things that are going to drive that going forward. And the sky's the limit for you and your business. So thank you all. Appreciate y'all, and we will see you soon.